So, just got out of a killer lecture led by Jack on just more about just how to be a great singer, how to optimally use your voice in a way that harkens back to all the great singers that we like to pedestalize, the right way of singing, the real way of singing, truly operatically. I just come to think more and more every single day that probably my favorite thing about being an opera singer, and why, at least for me, it makes more sense than other careers, is because I believe very much that daily you should take every opportunity to push as hard as you possibly can your own limits in whatever endeavor you are currently in. Leveling up, as I like to think about it, all the time. Never staying stagnant, always growing, always expanding. Expansion and always, as I think Ryan Serhant puts it. Big fan of his stuff. So, also a Perry Mansfield alum, fellow Perry Mansfield alum. 10 years ago, I was at Perry Mansfield. That is wild. That was an informative summer. Anyway, I digress. And then maybe that's part of where that instinct or whatever was unlocked or born. It's just let's say, for example, in singing, every single phonation, if you are not being lazy, if you're being intentional in every single thing that you do, you can take every single phonation to train in whatever sort of fundamental aspect of your technique or fine-tuning aspect of your technique you are working on. You can take every single repetition of a scene, etc., to be more confident in standing perfectly still, to be more intentional in a gesture, to play your intention, to raise the stakes on your dramatic intention to life or death, to try and bring the most intensity that you possibly can. If you stay observant to these opportunities and are fearless in your, relentless in your desire to try them out and to experiment, I just find it to be incredibly satisfying and never boring. It's very hard for me to imagine how personally I would do that at a conventional job. But I think that the underlying principle here is the way that you do one thing is the way that you do everything. So if what's the most opposite thing I could think of that I'm not innately inclined towards, like crunching numbers. I would just take I don't know what I would do, but I would think if I'm writing something down by hand or doing something in Excel, I would just be okay, I'm gonna make this the most organized, efficient thing possible. I would look for the linchpin idea or formula that makes everything easier, more accurate, and more efficient. Strive for the best possible, most efficient way to get the data. I honestly don't really know what I'm talking about regarding that, but maybe somebody who is watching this will be able to translate and apply it to their own non-operatic job. To me, again, the constant quest of exploring the parallels between music and weights, the corollary to training is always be trying to set some kind of PR, track your weights and your reps, and if you are doing the same thing twice, understand why. If I am doing the same weight and same reps, etc., repeatedly, it's because I am trying to tweak and perfect my form. Normally what I do is I would drop the weight significantly and then build back up to that. I've been repping in the low to mid 300s on the squat for 2019. I started in 2013 for 6 years. And that's not for lack of getting stronger. It's because my squat form is so much better than it was back then. It's because I'm constantly okay, I'm gonna go back and work on this. If I gotta go all the way back to start at 225, coming from multiple reps for 355, to make sure that like my left heel or my right heel is not leaving the ground, so be it. If I have to do that to make sure that I am, really staying totally locked in, totally tight through my lats, through every part of my body, so be it. If it's through, making sure that my head or neck doesn't do this or this too much, but stays perfectly neutral, as we would want it to be in singing and in standing, don't break that line, then so be it. Looking for those little ways to improve and push and challenge yourself and find your weak points and make them your strong points, and also to double down on your strong points, is a similar thing that I find to singing. So, speaking of, I gotta go sing.